It was just a few months ago that you had the opportunity to pre-order the Bricklink Designer Program Series 5 sets. Now, while we did not order any ourselves, if you pre-ordered them, you'll receive them in a couple of months. But this week, upcoming, we have the opportunity to pre-order the Bricklink Designer Program Series 6 sets, and there are 5 options available. So in this video, we're going to walk through those 5 sets, and we're going to chat at the end about which ones we like the most and why, and if we plan on getting any of them. So let's dive into these really fascinating options. The pre-order window begins October 6th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. For us here in the Eastern time zone in the United States, that's 11 a.m. But of course, you want to check your time zone wherever it is that you live. Now, these 5 options range from $80 US to $300 US, and they do span a variety of themes that we'll talk about in just a moment. It's important to note that these sets will be produced in a one-time production run if they receive 3,000 pre-orders. If they do not receive that amount, then they will not be produced. The track record for the Bricklink Designer Program Series is such that I think all of them have been produced. They've received those 3,000 pre-orders, but if you are interested in them, you want to make sure that you get up to those 3,000. Also, there's a limit of 2 per household, and there are limits in terms of how many of them they will produce. They will be capped. I'm not sure if there's dynamic producing that's going to be taking place here in Series 6 like there was in Series 5, where there were more Transylvania castles produced or will be produced than other options. But I say don't risk it. If you love any of these options that we talk about, make sure you go and pre-order them on October 6th, as close as you can to the initial window. We're going to start with the most affordable option, which is the Off-Road Adventure. This has 978 pieces, 3 minifigs, and will cost you $80. Now, this is a really jam-packed scene that's got rock formations, a tent, an off-road vehicle, some bikes. It's got some nature accessories like fish and a couple of dogs and some fantastic creatures like that. And there's a lot of interesting building techniques going on with this particular option. Like many of the Bricklink Designer Program sets, this has the feel of a MOC. It's got a base plate that is a bunch of smaller plates tied in together, some snotted rock work. I like how the tent looks and is constructed. I also noticed some half-stud offsets in the vehicle. The bike at the top left can be clipped into the scene, which is a nice detail. This set really packs a lot of details and suggests that it's going to be a varied build, and that is going to help with the engagement process throughout the entire set. I think one criticism could be that it's a little too jam-packed. That's not really my opinion of it, but I will say that I've seen that, and it's a fair criticism. I just want you to see all the different angles and whatnot as you prepare to possibly buy these sets. The next set is the Art Factory, which has almost 2,600 pieces and will cost $230 US. It has 10 minifigs, and it is going to be the closest Bricklink Designer Program Series set that you will get to a modular building that you possibly can. It's not built on the traditional 16 by 32 or 32 by 32 base plate. Rather, it's normal plates, and then there's a lot of snot work that is used to get the different sidewalk levels in place. But it is something that I think would be interesting to see how it would be modified into a potential modular building. Speaking of the snot techniques for the sidewalk, check out the use of facet bricks as a wheelchair ramp to the side door. Just looking at that shows off how intricate this build could be. You can fold up the entire set to have a fully enclosed building, or you can open it up to be more like a dollhouse. It reminds me of the old Ghostbusters HQ set and should be accepted by all fans who like either one style of build or the other. The building techniques beyond the base are very intriguing. In the interior, the floors are removable by sliding them in and out, which reminds me a bit of some of the modular Harry Potter castle sets. The large grand piano looks very, very cool, as do many of the art installations. I do find it a little bit odd that the first 2 levels are essentially tiled floors, but the third is not, but I don't think that's a huge knock on the set. The exterior details are wonderful with the tan, dark orange, nougat, and dark green combination. The switching between masonry bricks and regular bricks is effective, and the glass encased working elevator is really well done. Of course, my favorite building technique of the facade is the use of clear garage door panels as windows, which reminds me of one of the buildings in the Assembly Square modular building from nearly 10 years ago. Finally, on the roof, there's a wonderful skylight, and note the use of the bright light blue train door that leads out of the elevator section. This has 10 minifigs, which include a variety of torsos, but not many printed or dual molded legs. As I mentioned earlier, I am very curious to see how this one could be modified into a modular city. In particular, this is one that folds up using hinge plates, the swivel 1x4 plates, and the little bulge that comes with those plates might run into the side of another building if you place them directly adjacent. You could get rid of those hinge plates and just make it a solid four-wall building for your modular city, and it would be, I think, incorporated pretty well, other than the sidewalk components, and you'd have to find some way to raise the level of the sidewalk and all of that. But I think it would be fun to see how that one could be worked into a modular city. Next is the Outlaw Forest Den, which has just over 2,600 pieces, 10 minifigs, and like the Art Factory, will cost $230 US. Now, I did a whole video on this set and how LEGO has made it even better since the initial wave was announced, and you can check out that video right over here. I'm not going to rehash everything that I put in that video, only to say that this set is largely not just about the build, but the minifigs, the wolf pack, the lion knights, the horses, the wolves, the wolf pack shields, the lion knight shields. There's so much that goes into this set that I think is really cool, but I do want to highlight a couple of things here just so you get a sense of what's going on in this build. There are some great snot techniques for the steps, the rock work, the portcullis, and there are other architectural details that are fantastic. I also want to highlight the use of some of the angles that you see in this set, which is a hallmark of excellently designed LEGO sets in 2025. There's also a trap door and some other play aspects which will, I think, increase the appeal of this set to people that have kids. I will also add that Brickhammer, the designer of the set, did actually put a series of comments in our previous video in the comment section that articulated that these shields are indeed printed, in case you're wondering, and that trapdoor mechanism is still in there. LEGO cleaned up some of it for stability purposes when they did the final design, but that is still there. So we're very grateful that he was able to chime in our comment section of our previous video, and we look forward to, spoiler alert, plan on getting this one. I think it's the castle option, and we love castles, so we're definitely excited for this one to be one of the 5 options. The fourth option is the Sequoia tree, which comes in at about 3,200 pieces for $270 US and also comes with 10 minifigs. This one is largely about the massive Sequoia trees, which top out at 21 inches high. The 2 biggest ones are very bulky and use a lot of the 1x4 double curved slopes in reddish brown. But I particularly like how the base of the trunks come out at different angles. There are some other smaller, thinner trees that use other pieces for the trunks, which will help vary the build a bit. There are some other charming components to this set besides the trees. There is a very nice archway that spans the dark tan dirt road that leads up to a small cabin that has a removable roof and an interior. There is a sign by one of the large Sequoia trees, and then notice this really nice tan fence that goes along the side of a walkway. The minifigs include 3 rangers that I think look absolutely fantastic with their dark green legs, the light blue torsos, and their tan hats. There are 6 other adult minifigs and a baby, only 2 of which have printed legs. The strength of the Sequoia tree set really is that it is different from a lot of the other Bricklink Designer Program Series sets that we've received in the past. And I think it's one that really could fit in well with the A-frame cabin or some sort of camper area, because I know LEGO has put out campers for the series of the city sets as well as some creator ones over the years. And I think that would be really fun to see how those would all look together. We don't have any of those other sets, so again, spoiler alert, we're angling at not picking up the Sequoia tree set, but I definitely see the appeal for it. The final option is one that harkens back to the Wild West era of LEGO from the 1990s, and this is the Gold Mine Expedition. This has about 3,400 pieces, 13 minifigs, and will set you back $300 US. Now, this is a massive set, and there's a lot going on here, so let's unpack a couple of the details. It has 3 layers to it. The mine, which has a mine cart with rails, a dynamite mechanism, rock crusher section, and some areas for food storage. The second level has an office with some hidden sections to hide various loots, a cantina, a kitchen, and a post office. The top level has a working wooden headframe and an attic with mining supplies. Outside is a lot of very nice scenery, including a stream, water wheel, wagon, and quite a few animals. There's quite a bit of variety in the minifigs, including robbers and miners and some normal civilians, including a coach driver. We've received some Wild West styled sets in the Bricklink Designer Program over the years, and I think those typically do pretty well, so I'd be shocked if this one did not get the 3,000 pre-orders, and this one might sell out relatively quickly because it's one of the bigger ones that's structure-based from the Wild West theme. The Bricklink Designer sets are known for giving you mock-like builds that look really good on display and have a lot of interesting features in them, including some play features. This series, the Series 6 sets, definitely deliver on that yet again. Now, I like the variety of sets here as they align to different constituencies within the LEGO fan community. For us, there are 3 sets that stand out: the Goldmine Expedition, the Art Factory, and the Outlaw Forest Den. The Goldmine Expedition for us is fun because Julie and I both had Wild West sets, or our siblings had Wild West sets when we were growing up. As for the Art Factory, it's the closest thing to a modular that we could get with the Bricklink Designer Program Series at this point in time, because they don't allow official modular style buildings to be designed or submitted. So that one would be interesting to pick up, depending on how things are going for our channel and the revenue that we're bringing in. But for us, the number one option that we have, and we're going to make sure we pre-order this one, is the Outlaw Forest Den, because we love Castle, we love Wolfpack. That goes back to the 1990s, and it was a really small faction at the time, but I think beloved by a lot of fans. And I think if we're looking at which ones are going to sell out first, I definitely think the Outlaw Forest Den is going to have the highest potential for selling out. It's not just because it's Wolfpack and that it's well designed, I think, but also because of the wolves and the Wolfpack shields. I think there are a lot of Castle fans who might have been on the fence with this one, but when LEGO upped the ante with the final design release, a lot of people are going to want to get those as a nice way to incorporate or get more of those pieces into their collection. I would also be surprised if the Art Factory and the Goldmine Expedition don't come close to selling out or selling out entirely. Again, I'm not sure LEGO is going to be doing dynamic production here, where if one is lagging behind, they open up additional slots for one of the more in-demand sets, but I would anticipate the Off-Road Adventure and the Sequoia trees as not being as quite in demand as the others. And this goes back not just because I don't like those sets, because I think they are really well done. It's more so if you look at the track record of the Bricklink Designer Program and how certain sets sell. The Castle ones, some of the Wild West ones, and buildings tend to do relatively well compared to more of the nature scenes. But I could be entirely wrong when it comes to that. So let me know in the comments down below if you are planning on getting any of these sets for Series 6. Of course, you can go to bricklink.com to check them out in more detail, as well as checking out future series. I believe they've announced Series 7 and 8. They're also in the process of collecting submissions for Series 9. So again, you can head over to bricklink.com to see all of those details. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and always remember to keep building together.